Good everyone, welcome to this video. Today it's a first flight in the P-39K. Obviously it is going to be a replay because, well, I was too eager. I do apologise. I just wanted to try my new toys out. So, obviously with this plane being a P-39, it's going to be awesome at energy fighting, which it is. I have to give this plane credit. It is good at energy fighting. Now, obviously, when I first considered this aircraft, I had a choice. I had a choice between this or the Russian P-63A5. I was going to go for the P-63A5, I'll be brutally honest. However, the reason why I went with this is because, well, I prefer more dagger. Obviously, I know technically 250 cals extra do better than more 7.62s, but it's just the ammunition that would keep me interested in this aircraft. Obviously, 30 rounds of cannon, 400 rounds in the 50 cals, 3,000 in the machine guns. That to me just seems more versatile. I know that seems a bit dumb because obviously the P-63 obviously carries bombs, which means it would probably be better for tank forces. However, I just see this thing as a bit more my sort of style. And obviously, I know, what's his name? Scott Clegg, I think it is, if I remember rightly. He obviously prefers the lower tier stuff, and I'm fairly certain he'd love to see a lower tier Russian Cobra in my hands. But obviously the first flights that you'll see were flown with short bus and DTT. Obviously P-39K, Japsit, and the Pacifier. The Pacifier, if I remember rightly, I got the best results out of it. But just to give you a heads up, I got 3 kills this game. I believe I got an assist as well. This plane felt good to fly, I'm not going to lie. It's just, it did feel a bit heavy. She did feel a bit heavy, and obviously that's mainly due to obviously the fuel being in the wings, which most P-39s are affected by. Well, in fact, all P-39s are affected by that. But obviously with this thing having wing-mounted guns, that obviously makes a difference as well. But to be honest, if you keep your energy up, you don't dogfight as much, and you keep your speed at least at a reasonable capacity where you can do a vertical maneuver. This thing's actually pretty good, and you'll see a pretty interesting dogfight between me and a P-39Q. But anyway, let's jump into the battle and let's see what I got up to. And I didn't get an assist. Okay, that's fine by me. I don't care. But it was a good aircraft to fly. I'm not gonna lie. But like I say, the weight just affected it. Like I could feel it not wanting to perform as well as a P-39Q, which obviously you do see the P-39Q pilot. So I'm just answering my phone here, but I will say this though, like obviously DTT and Short Bus took off in their Porkies, as they call them, the Porkishkins P-39N. And well, obviously I'm in the K because I bought the K. I well didn't buy it, more like earned it. Thanks, Gaijin. Um, but obviously Short and or DTT, obviously we refer to him as tow whenever he's in an aircraft because his username used to be the tow and bow. They're obviously going to climb a little bit better than me. That's one thing I noticed. This thing is a bit of a lower rate of climb, but to be honest, I'm not that bothered about it. But to be honest, I bought this thing mainly to spank their allies if I get pissed off at them, so I've got a toy to play with. The Russian Hurricane, I've been having very good results in. I absolutely love that thing. Obviously, I hope I'll be covering those all the vehicles that I get in reviews at some point. Don't expect them to be, straight away, because obviously I've got to play them. I've got to get a market distinction done, get good matches in them and everything, learn about the aircraft and everything, and just see if it's worth it or not. Obviously, with it not being on a sale, this aircraft is worth 1,000 Golden Eagles. So, here comes the dogfight. Obviously, Short Bus and DTT, obviously they are slightly above me, and they have spotted this P-39Q. Now, having spaded the P-39Q, I didn't really have the best time of it until I got the engine mods done. It's a good aircraft, do not get me wrong, it is a very good aircraft. It's just... I think there's obviously better, because obviously you get the Cobras. And obviously at this point, DTT and Shortbus have spotted a Buffsair. That's how I now refer to the British Corsairs as. And this is, you can obviously see, I'm turning the elevator as hard as I can, but that P-39Q just has that little edge in maneuverability. That's one thing I noticed. I was saying to the guys in comms, this thing feels a bit heavy. And they were like, yeah, expect that. But to be honest, I can tame a beast like this. I can tame her. Now, if I remember rightly, Shortbus just got crit by that Corsair. Obviously, DTT's going to go over and help. Because obviously, I'm dealing with a Q. Obviously, at this point, I'd actually lost sight of the Q, but obviously I see his dot now. But this Q pilot knew what he was doing to some extent. Obviously, he knew to force me into maneuvers where he would perform better. DTT's just shot down the Corsair right now. But obviously, I'm turning as hard as I can, and you can see the weight obviously affecting the aircraft in the wing area. This thing did not feel as maneuverable as a P-39Q. Now, obviously, Shortbus was obviously saying, like, well, his aircraft will be better, but if you keep your energy up, you should be fine. And, well, I did. Obviously, I'm still maintaining about 300 miles an hour, even after all these maneuvers. This thing can maintain its speed really well. I have to say that. But obviously, the lads are coming in to lend a hand if I need it, but I'm just saying, like, I think I should have him in a moment. Obviously, I'm turning as hard as I can. The P-39Q knows exactly how to dodge me. I have to give this guy credit. He was a good pilot. But obviously, we're approaching the speed of where this thing starts to lock up, about 400 miles an hour. Obviously, I put my flaps down just to help me out of here. And, well, the P-39Q, obviously, he couldn't get guns on. I scored a couple of hits. Obviously, now he's damaged. He's got a bit of an oil leak. But, like I say, if you are going to buy this thing, do be aware that you will not be able to match a P-39Q move for move. Obviously, I'm only doing it because, obviously, I've kept my speed up. But you can see, I've obviously got the flaps down. He's got his flaps down. I know that for certain. And I couldn't turn inside of him. That's due to the weight of the wings. Got to take that into account, people. I'm serious about that, because if you lose to a P-39Q and you come raging to me saying, Joe, this thing's a pile of shit, why'd you make me spend money on it? It can work, as you can see, but you just have to play your cards right. You cannot dogfight as well as you think. First kill. But otherwise, this thing feels great to fly. I mean, the climb rate's good, the speed is good. And at this point, me and DTT, obviously, Shortbus has gone back to base for a repair. DTT has spotted some poor bastard who was brought along in a fury. I really feel sorry for him. Spoiler alert, I am going to kill him. I don't take no prisoners, people. I mean, depends on the situation. If I know if I knew someone like Derp Angel was on the enemy team, I'd go for his gun barrel in like a tank and just I'd take a prisoner. Or I'd let another teammate kill him, or like I'd just slowly torture him every time with the main caliber gun. I'd just slowly set him afire and just let him burn. But we'll gloss over that. So obviously at this point we've got a Hellcat, we've got a Zero, we've got a Russian P-39 that we obviously knew about. He'd gotten quite a few kills already for his team, but obviously he's out of ammunition. At this point, obviously, Shortbus has landed, but this poor Fury. I felt bad, okay? I felt bad, but it had to be done. Because I was making jokes to DTT saying, I'd laugh if that thing popped you, because I would have laughed. Obviously at this point, the Zeros broke onto DTT's tail. Obviously we're going for the Hellcat. I thought, am I going to get that shot? Went for it anyway, and got my third and final kill for the game. Obviously the Zero now turns for me. Obviously I bait him, I force him into a turn and a climbing spiral. DTT takes his opportunity to rush in. Obviously bait him a little bit more, and DTT blows him out of the sky with a 37mm. Not a bad result, that isn't. Obviously, DTT got a kill. Shame for short bus, really. But as you can tell by the actual timer, the Whirlwind P9 pilot is going to J out on repairing and landing. And to be quite frankly honest, I don't blame him. So obviously, first impressions of the P-39K. Not a bad plane at all. Like I say, you've just got to take into account that weight. It it does feel heavier than a standard P-39, such as like the Q and the what's the other one? Whatever. It's morning brain. My brain's not awake. Obviously, it feels about if you've ever flown a P400, it feels like that. Except obviously you got a 37mm instead of a 20mm. It feels like that. That's pretty much how you got to fly this thing. Obviously, as you saw, I was struggling with the P-39Q in maneuvers, but I soon was able to turn the tide. But other than that, I think this is a good pick for me. I obviously like this sort of aircraft. Shortbus and DTT don't, because obviously the weight, but that's just a matter of opinion. I respect everyone's opinions. But anyway, obviously, I've got two more first flights to record. Obviously, the Japs there and the pacifier. But yeah, hope you enjoyed today's video on the P-39K. Obviously, expect a review on this sometime in the near future. And I will see you all on the next one.